everybody. Welcome to our webinar. We're focusing today on strategy and planning. Welcome back if you were a part of the overview edition. And I am Noemi Hedrick, marketing specialist. This is Bob Wendt, our president for Heritage Printing. And we're happy to have you. Don't worry about taking any notes today. Again, we'll make this e-guide available to you. We spent some time putting all of this information together, and we'll give you the information down the line. So sit back, enjoy, and let's talk about strategy and planning.
So exactly, we're going to talk about strategy and planning today. It's just one part of the process that we use to work with our clients to generate better results for their direct marketing efforts. Strategy and planning can be totally overwhelming, and because of that, I think a lot of people skip that step or kind of glaze over it. So we work with our clients to really spend a lot of time there so that they can get better results. So we look deeper than just the outcome, and we work with this simple framework that gives you a path to better results from your direct marketing effort. Mm-hmm. So our process, the key elements to success are really defining your objectives, really understand what you're trying to get done. And a lot of times for people, that's really just the end result. They're trying to focus on generating more sales or creating more, donations. But we really drill down a little bit more and kind of define objectives a little bit more broadly so that we can kind of enhance our understanding of what worked and what didn't work with the campaign. So identifying your audience is absolutely critical. If that's done right, a lot of that hinges on the success of the campaign. Mm-hmm. If we nail the audience and we can really understand the attributes and the feelings and the emotions of the audience, the campaign just kind of really takes on a different complexion because it's being delivered to the people that really it's most relevant to.
Yeah, and if you understand your audience, you're going to know how to speak to them, how to convey your message, how to represent yourself, and that's essentially what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we work with our clients to clarify their uniqueness, really, help them kind of extract what's unique about them, whether it's their product or service or their community cause, whatever it might be. And we worked with them to create a compelling reason to respond to their direct marketing effort. You really got to get in the minds of your audience and really find what that connection is going to be that's going to really get them to really want to participate in the campaign and respond to what you're asking them to do.
Right. This is where I think understanding your competition is crucial, because then it will help you understand what the differentiator is and how to express that and convey that to your customers.
Right. So again, part of this strategy planning process is really defining the level of engagement needed to get the results you want. So how many touches, what channels are you going to use? You really, people are inundated with messaging. So you really have to kind of get something in front of them 5, 6, 7 times and do it at a respectable cadence, but have enough engagement that you're going to get the results that you want.
Right.
And then planning and metrics, right? We want to make sure that, we know where we want to go and how we're going to get there. Again, not just the final result, but, what messages are working better than others? What channels are working better than others? If we understand those in the front end of the process, then we're getting much better information out of the back end.
Right. If you're spending a lot of time in understanding these key elements, then you're going to be set with a good strategy that will then allow you to set up a perfect plan.
Right.
So meet Amy. We all have been there. It's very relatable. Amy's relatable. She has a strong sense of design and copy. She tries her best. Her latest effort was ignored, didn't do so well. The performance of the campaign is trending down. Quite can't figure out what went wrong, needs to focus on a solid new approach. And what Amy needs is a good kind of just step back, take a look at some of those key elements to success, and think about the overall strategy, the overarching strategies, to then come up with a better plan. So what we're going to do is just follow Amy's path to success based on our strategy.
Right. So again, what we've done in the previous webinars is kind of talked about what a good, a better, a best strategy is.
Right.
And we're going to do the same thing here today. So at a really good level of strategy, there's basic planning. I mean, you know what the elements are of your campaign. You have a database. You know what you want to achieve. You probably understand what's worked for you in the past, right? So you're repeating that to some degree, but not really pushing the elements to kind of get to another level. Your database is probably good, right? Clean at least, but there's some attributes that are missing. And your messaging is probably generic. It's probably general, trying to cover a lot of things with a single piece or a single message. And again, you're probably just looking at the final outcomes only.
Right. You're probably going to do okay if you have a good strategy. But we want you to do your best, right? And go even beyond that. So
get even better. Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you're thinking about, the need to go to another level, at a better level, segmenting your audience is probably a piece that you need to think about. Is it a existing customer? Is it a brand new customer?
Right.
Is it somebody that's donated in the past or has lapsed donating? Those are all things that if you can put those groups of audiences into different buckets, you can kind of start then to kind of, deliver different information to them.
Right.
So using personas to tailor your messaging, again, what can you really understand about your audience that would help you reshape the creative, reshape the messaging to make it more relevant to the person who's receiving it? And then you're probably very solid in brand consistency and creative. It's tight. It looks good. It's not a big deviation from your core brand, so people can relate to it right away. And then finally, you're connecting the audience to the value being offered, right? This is where a lot of people miss is they talk about their products or services, or they talk about what they do, but they don't really make that emotional connection on the value that those things are bringing to the audience.
Right. And I think that's key, what you just said, making that connection. You want to speak to them in a way that lets them know that you know them, and that it's relatable, and that what you have to offer matters to them, and it makes a difference in their lives, and it's going to make it better. So you want to humanize your communication with them, and bring it to a different level. That's going to engage them and get them to connect with you and respond.
Those are all great points, Noemi.
Yeah.
So really at the best level, now you're starting to target and personalize your messaging that's relevant. So you have this segmented database, and you're starting to kind of understand a little bit more about what motivates or what they're interested in. And you can start to not only deliver a single message, but deliver multiple messages that are going to be much more relevant to the recipient.
Right. And that's when understanding your database is key, and not just the name and the address and the email address. If you have access to understand how they look at the information that they get, if they are using cell phones, if they use the laptop, what search engine they use, all of those different things, if you are able to get that information, again, it's going to allow you to have this multiple channel communication with them and speak to them in the way that they would like to receive that communication.
Right. So again, you're probably starting to use multiple channels to attain that level of saturation. You're probably using print, email, social media, maybe trying to get some press coverage, paid advertising, all those things kind of tie together to choreograph your campaign and derive the level of outcomes that you're trying to attain.
Right.
And then you're building in testing, again, to allow analytics beyond just the final outcome, but everything that's happened within the campaign. If you've tried the A/B test multiple offers, you have a good understanding of how they're responding. Are they responding more from social media than they are from print? from the ads. Those are all things that you have that are building an understanding of your campaign performance so that you can just keep optimizing it in the future.
Right. It's crucial for you to be able to test and take a look at what the response is with either way. Again, all of this, we're just talking about integrated marketing, right? Just kind of multi-level communication. So you're targeting them in every direction. You just want to be top of mind. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. So really moving from good to best results, good to the absolute best results, you can start with strategy and planning, and what you need to do to move up that ladder a little bit. And be sure that you're on a path to get the maximum results you can for your marketing effort. So Noemi even has some bonus tips for us.
Yeah. Amy's going to do a great job if she follows these directions and this new path, for sure. So some of the tips that we have is you want to talk to your customers, to your donors, your members. You just want to have the communication with them and keep that communication with them, right? You start with simple segmentations. At a minimum, you want to be able to segment your prospects versus your current customers. And within your current customers, it'd be helpful to understand the active ones versus the inactive ones so you can communicate with them accordingly. Try to find out how your audience is receiving the communication, right? What channel they prefer to use, so that way you can communicate with them that way. Try to understand your customer's perspective. Always try to focus on them, be customer-centric, and try to convey what's in it for them if they do business with you, right? Again, it's all about improving their life in general. And just work out a plan. If you have that plan, a solid plan, and you follow through with it, you can only succeed.
Yep.
And we mentioned before that we would make this e-guide available to you. Heritage Printing put this e-guide together, and there's a lot of great information. Go to betterresultsforyou.com. The URL is available on the screen, and download the e-guide. And we hope to see you again.
So we want to thank you for attending today. Again, we covered the strategy and planning session of our process. And in the coming weeks, we're going to present another webinar to you that's going to be focused on data development and analysis. So we hope you got some valuable points out of today's webinar, and look forward to seeing you for the next one.
See you soon. Thank you. Take care.